Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April 29. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April 29, 2025 special board meeting of the Halton District School Board. I would like to extend a special welcome to our guests, both in person and online. We will start with the roll call. Vice Chair Oliver.
Good evening, everyone.
Trustee Ahmed.
Good evening, Chair, and good evening, everyone.
Trustee Amos.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Trustee Baxter.
Good evening.
Trustee Bryden.
Good evening.
Trustee Daniele.
Thank you, I'm here.
Trustee Gray.
Hello.
Trustee Rocha.
Here.
Trustee Shuttleworth.
Good evening.
And Trustee Zhang.
Good evening.
Director Ennis, please let us know which staff are in attendance this evening.
Good evening, everyone. We have our Manager of Governance and Board Service, Carolina Khan, to assist with tonight's proceeding.
Thank you. Tonight I will be honoring the land. We begin by acknowledging the land and our responsibility to care for and respect all that provides us with life. This land upon which the HDSB is situated is on the ancestral treaty and title lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Michizagaek Nation, now known as the Mississaugas of the Credit. Mississauga territory in the past and present continues to host both Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. The HDSB is committed to continuous knowledge building with respect to actions that address and resolve the ongoing impacts of colonialism. We do this by learning and understanding the true history, treaty obligations, duties and responsibility, and Indigenous rights, while actively maintaining mutually beneficial relationships and collectively respecting and caring for the land. Since this is a special board meeting, there are no opportunities to adjust the agenda. Now we are up to item 1.3, approval of the agenda. Trustee Gray, would you make a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Trustee Daniele, would you like to second this motion?
Thank you very much, I would.
Are there any objections to approving the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Are there any declarations of possible conflict of interest for this evening's agenda? Seeing none, we are now up to item 3, candidate interviews, trustee, Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Director Ennis, would you please invite our first candidate forward?
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome John Balcom to the presentation area.
Welcome, John, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the Vice Chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. It's red, so at my place it's not red. Okay. So thank you, trustees and Director of Education, for having me here today. So my understanding of the role of a school board trustee, I view the role of a trustee as a balance between strategic oversight and community advocacy. Trustees are responsible for setting the board overall direction, approving the multi-year strategic plan, policies, and budgets, while ensuring that the Director of Education and staff effectively implement these decisions. Trustees also have the duty to manage public funds transparently and equitably, as well as the ethical responsibility to uphold all board resolutions once passed. At the same time, we serve the community representatives, gathering feedback from parents, students, and local stakeholders, and ensuring that these voices are reflected in board decision-making. In addition, a trustee serves on statutory committees such as the Special Education Advisory Committee and Audit Committee, and collaborate with municipality and provincial leaders to support the success and the well-being of students across the district. Even before this trustee vacancy was posted, I had reached out to inquire about joining the Special Education Advisory Committee as a parent representative, demonstrating my commitment to contributing meaningfully to our education system. Okay.
Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB 2024-28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Okay, thank you. I have thoroughly reviewed the 2024 and 2028 multi-year strategic plan and its 6 commitments. I see a strong alignment between the plan and the work I do daily as a patient care manager at Mount Sinai Hospital downtown Toronto. Champion community and belonging, I've co-led family lounge renovations, launched peer support roles, and foster connection paralleling the Halton District School Board commitment to inclusion and community building. Advancing equity and inclusion, I implemented services to support diverse families, such as language access and the Veteran Parent Support Initiative, aligned with the board equity goals. Promoting well-being, I introduced staff resilience programs and mental health debriefs following Code Grey incidents, mirroring the board's emphasis on mental wellness. Driving innovation and learning, I led quality improvement initiatives, including e-learning modules and standardizing protocols, supporting both evidence-informed learning and capacity building. Ensuring sustainability and performance, I oversee a multi-million-dollar operation and capital budget. I apply the same principles of financial stewardship and resource optimization called for in the board's plan. I foresee no barriers in supporting the plan. Where additional resources or specialized knowledge may be required, such as for environmental sustainability projects, I would apply the same collaborative and grant-seeking approaches to have proven effective in my healthcare leadership at work. My experience translating strategic priorities into measurable results makes me well equipped to support and help advance Halton District School Board 2024-2028 multi-year strategic plan as a trustee for wards 5 and 7.
Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
Okay, thank you. I bring a combination of direct Halton District School Board experience and a broader governance leadership that directly supports the trustee role. Currently, I serve as treasurer of the School Council of River Oaks Public School, where I ensure compliance of Regulation 612 and board financial policies, maintain transparent reporting, and help oversee the equity use of school-generated funds. As a parent of 2 elementary students on Halton District School Board, one with significant medical, developmental, and education needs, I work closely with the board and deeply value the individualized support and inclusive services provided. This lived experience strengthens my advocacy for accessibility and inclusive education. Professionally, I serve as a patient care manager at NICU at Mount Sinai Hospital, which is one of the largest NICUs in Canada. I led interdepartmental committees such as quality improvement, policy procedures, which mirrors the collaboration, policy-driven work of the school board. I also work with the NICU Parent Advisory Committee to ensure community donations make a tangible difference to our families. I'm responsible for managing operational budgets, compliance with institutional policies, and meeting provincial standards parallel to the trustees' oversight and responsibilities. Additionally, my unit partners with the Toronto District School Board, and we host co-op students, reinforcing my commitment to experience-based learning and cross-sector collaboration. Earlier in my career, I was elected by my peers as council member for the College of Nurses of Ontario. Where I made decisions in the public interest while upholding professional governance and standards. Through these roles, I've developed skills in consensus building, financial accountability, policy implementation, and stakeholder engagement, all essential qualities for an effective trustee.
And question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
Okay, thank you. I'm a long-time resident of Oakville with children in the local Halton District School Board schools. I understand both the urban and the suburban realities of Wards 5 and 7. I'm invested in the success of our students and our schools. From overseeing the school council budget and leading NSU financial planning, I have a strong track record of responsibility, transparent financial oversight. I'm experienced in building partnerships with parents, educators, healthcare professionals, and community groups to co-create solutions from school events to clinical care initiatives. I champion human rights, equity, and accessibility, whatever by advocating for our inclusive classroom, supports, or developing culturally responsive family engagement programs in healthcare. My combined experiences in local school governance, healthcare leadership, and inclusive community building positions me in a thoughtful and effective and accountable trustee for Wards 5 and 7. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is still time remaining in your interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
I don't think so, but if there's any other questions that anyone would like to ask me or clarify anything, I'd be happy to answer those.
Yep, we do have a couple of minutes left. Does anyone have a question for John?
No?
Go ahead, Carol.
Thank you. Sorry, I was probably supposed to use that. I just wanted to ask a question of clarification. Your role at the College of Nurses, did you have experience, or are you currently at the College of Nurses?
No. So when I was at the College of Nurses, that was, I think that was about 8 or 10 years ago. So for the College of Nurses, depending on your district, at that time I worked at the Hospital for Sick Children. So you'd run for election, and then your peers would vote for you. So I was elected to represent downtown Toronto. So that time I would sit on all the committees at the College of Nurses. For example, complaints committees, all those things. I would review everything with the public, and then we'd make decisions with the public members on what the next steps would be. So I did that. That was actually a very good experience. So, yeah.
So did you work with risk profiles at all, or were you looking at risk management, risk assessment for the college in your governance role?
So when we risk management in the college role, I would be a nurse, that would be on the nursing College of Nurses for Ontario, and then I work with actual public members that were appointed through the ministry. So we would work together. So any kind of complaints or anything that came through to the college, it's just like the College of Teachers, right? So it'd be the same sort of thing. So I'd be a member, and we would be put on different committees. And then on those committees and stuff, I was on the complaints inquiry committee. So any complaints that came through to the public, I would review them with my peers, and then we'd come together every month, have meetings, and we have discussions on what the next steps would be. So, okay.
Any other questions for John this evening? No? Thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and we will be making a phone call tomorrow after deliberations to the candidate we select. So please keep your phone on.
Okay, thank you very much, and I
Thanks.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Guest trustees and Director of Education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, thank you. Just verifying you are, is it Erin or Aaron? Aaron. Aaron Manahan. Welcome. Press that button. There's a button on the microphone there. Just, yes, there you go.
Okay, sorry. Oh, no, okay, that's going to be distracting. Okay.
Okay, welcome, Aaron, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7.
Thank you.
Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm just going to get my glasses. Sorry. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
For me, when I looked at it, I see governance, leadership, working with the community. That's what you do as a whole. all of you trustees collected together. When I look at an individual trustee, I see the value as in you're working as a bridge for the board and the community. You are working towards listening, actively listening to what the community is saying, positive or negative, even if it's just something they may not think is important. It might actually be. Bring it up. Those are tidbits that you need to address. So taking that information and bringing it forth with a strong argument of this is what I'm hearing, this is what I'm seeing in the community, make a strong argument for it and collectively work together to see, can we find a solution? Is this something that's actually a big problem within the other wards? Brainstorm, work together through it, and then also be prepared that your solution may not be the winner. That's okay. Your solution may not be the winner, and you have to work then collectively as a team to bring that, this is a team response, this is how we're going to go, I'm fully supported behind it. And I think that's what's important. Collaborating, brainstorming, and coming together as a decision as one.
Okay, question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024-28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
I had the opportunity to read it over the last 2 days. I will admit that, yes, I'm not thoroughly bred in it, but I do understand the importance of it. The 6 pillars, well, what I'm referring to as pillars, are quite, what I find very interesting about them, there's quite a few of them that are mirroring what's going on in the world stage. So Indigenous rights, mental health, these are big issues that are being seen in the school environment and also on the world stage. When I look back at my own youth, I don't think there's ever been a moment where that has happened, where the issues have been that large, and why this, and I feel it's more of a collective commitment rather than a guiding document of the importance of it and the responsibility to really bring forth these conversations. And I find the collective commitment that I'm going to refer to it as an opportunity to break open conversations that have never been had before, people that are still shy to have these conversations, to strengthen relationships, to broaden our own horizons, and really have a responsibility to the community to be, yes, this is how we're going to go forward, and be responsible about it and hear all opinions, no matter if you don't like it or not. You still have to hear everyone's opinions and bring it forth. So, sorry, my mouth's really dry. So for me, no, I would not have any challenges supporting it at all. I think it's a sound collective commitment. The only thing I would say is it would take me some time to really get in there and memorize a lot of that stuff and have it just like I'm breathing type of thing. So yes.
Okay, question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
So I actually just recently moved to Oakville, as in like February, but I have been in awe of the Halton region for a very, very long time. It's a beautiful community, and I also think the board has done an excellent job of having a very strong reputation of the school system here. If you were to ask anyone outside the Halton region and you just say, Oakville, oh, they all have great schools. You don't have to go wrong with it. Burlington, amazing schools. If you were to say the same thing about Brampton, you wouldn't want to go in that area or that area. So it's been an excellent, excellent reputation that you guys have. So I've been following from afar. For me, in terms of my experience, I have been, so I started my career off as working with the PO board, and I also had the opportunity to work in the film set as an on-set teacher. That allowed me to see very diverse environments of how a student can learn. And what we should be doing for them to accommodate. And I really found that in the film industry. It's very interesting. You're thrown a lot of things, and you really have to advocate for that student to be, no, they need this time, they need this to be set up for success, which is very, very interesting in how things are going along here. Professionally as well, I've furthered my career by the last 13 years in the corporate world. I'm currently at Sun Life as a strategic execution and engagement manager. It's a mouthful. But what I do there is I work with all levels of stakeholders to bring forth large strategic initiatives that we have and bring it into fruition. And I work also on an advisory council there as well, making sure that all the voices of the departments are heard, because there are a lot of conflicting ideas that happen there. So I lead that advisory council as well. I think all those things would help me in the role of trustee, because I have learned how to collaborate with others, listen to different perspectives, and actually listen to what they're saying and do something about it. Not just no. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, we're just going to pass this. No, actively listen and care about what's going on. And a lot of my experience in the corporate world taught me that.
Okay. Question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
I have a very unique experience in terms of the educational background that I have. I've worked with the PO board. I've worked in the film industry, seeing how students need diverse experiences and actually listening to what they're saying, combined with my strategic leadership within the corporate world, has really helped to I would say, strengthen the just basically what I can bring to the table. Again, with the collaboration, with being an advocate for somebody. And that's really what it comes down to. For me, I have been passionate about education since I was a teenager. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. The reason for that was I remember in high school, our guidance counselors were brutal. It didn't matter what grades you had, what GPA you had. They told you weren't going to get anywhere. Go to college. Don't bother going to university. I took that as an attack, not only for myself, but for all the students in the school. From that moment on, I realized, no, students need an advocate for them. Not just, yes, I hear what you're saying, but I actually think you need this. No. I hear what you're saying. Let's see if we can make change. And what I like about the Halton region, the schools that and I know you have to build out a lot of schools. There's a lot of development going on. The schools that you're coming out with, you're listening to the students. You're seeing what they need. With the new Oakville number 4 that has yet to be named, I have seen the way that is going to be opened up, and having those collaborative spaces outside for learners who need different needs. I can't just sit in a hallway and see 20 people coming by as they're trying to do their group project, right? So I really, really love how Halton has been coming up to that. And I feel my unique experience and skill set could really be an asset here. And especially just the passion I have for education. And it's genuine, not some made up stuff. I have been passionate since a very long time. So thank you for hearing me.
There is still a little bit of time left in your interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
Let's see. I think I rambled on with the passion bit. But the skill set that I have is, again, I'm going to touch on that, just very unique. I know what a traditional and non-traditional classroom looks like and what students need, and I'm at time.
Thank you very much. for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants when we've chosen an appointee, and so please keep your phone on tomorrow night, because tomorrow night is when we will be doing our deliberations.
Perfect, will do. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And enjoy the rest of your interviews.
Thanks.
I'd like to invite Shahab Khan to come forward.
Sorry, did you have a question, Jody?
No. I just.
Welcome, Shahab,
Thank you very
to
much.
your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville, Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Before we start, I just wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity. Thank you to the director or the chair. If you have any questions after, please, you can email me or you can always call me.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustees?
A school board trustee is, there's 2 aspects to it. There's the technical part, which can be tough. You need to know everything that your board is doing. You need to know the provincial code of conduct. You need to know, I live in Ward 7, so my kids go to school in Ward 7. There's 7 elementary schools and 7 and 5. There's 1 high school. There'll be more elementary. We need more elementary, obviously. That's, the technical part is great. I love it. I like to learn, to understand why I'm the school board trustee. But the more important part is really to be, and directly from the website, the word that caught me was be an ambassador. Being an ambassador, it's a relationship manager. It's someone that can communicate, someone that can listen. But really, the school board trustee has to be the go-between from the children, from the parents to the school board. And vice versa. Maybe the school board to the school, the parents to the, as a school board trustee, you have to be willing to do everything. You can't say, I would never say no to a child or a teacher or a parent. I would say, you know what, give me a day, I'll come back to you with the information. So you need to really understand that being the ambassador, you have to show parents and kids and teachers and administrators and the other trustees and the school board why you're so excited to be a trustee, why you want to do it, why you want to be an ambassador. So I think that's very important. 2 aspects to it, the technical role, but the relationship role. I love to communicate, I love to listen. That's very important. If a parent or a teacher or a child comes to me from Dr. David Williams, where my kids go, or Udanawi, which is across the street, we bought the house for Udanawi, I will never say no. Even if I'm not the trustee, I'll still try to figure out an answer. So I think that is the role, to be the best ambassador, to be the best neighbor and parent you can be.
Okay, question 2. How familiar are you with HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Sure. I've become familiar with it. We get emails from the school, from the administrators. I don't think it's ever talked about the whole role. Maybe I've missed it, but I'm now familiar with it. I'm very excited that we added the 6th one of kindness. It's right there, kindness and connection and community, because that's why we moved to Oakville, is to be a part of that community. I have no problems upholding it, pushing it forward, maybe growing it, using it to anything, to have any advantage in doing the job as a school board trustee for Wards 5 and Ward 7 properly. I'd be very excited to sit down at a council meeting. I've been to council meetings at Udanawi and DDW and explain it to the parents. We need to get more parents to come out, and maybe this is a way to do that, to explain what we're doing at the HDSB. So I have no problems using it to my advantages, to using it to the school's advantages, and to use it into HDSB's advantage.
Okay. Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how will this help you in the role of trustee?
So when I've been married 15 years, I have 2 kids, grade 8 and grade 7. When we got married, we lived in Ajax. We moved to Woodbridge to be close to the family, but we wanted to come to Oakville for the HDSB. And I have a grade 8 and a grade 7. My daughter Danya is in grade 7 at DDW. They started at Udanawi. The French immersion program got switched to DDW. I'm sure you've heard of it. The issues that we had, but they switched. Both my kids switched over. My daughter loves the school, loves the community, athletically, academically, she's doing well. She loves the teachers. My son is graduating grade 8 this year. He's an athlete, very good academic student. He was named Student of the Year 3 weeks ago. So we'll be attending. I think it's in this building. I think we'll be attending a dinner or a get together. I don't want to push it. So I've seen the value that it's brought my kids. I've seen the value that it's brought myself and my wife. My mother-in-law moved to Ward 7, where we live, in 2012. She was the first person to move. She now currently has 10 grandkids from grade 12 to JK in Oakville, part of the HDSB. Her 2 oldest granddaughters will be graduating from TA Blakelock and White Oaks and pursuing further education. So I see the value of the HDSB with my own family, with my own enlarging family. I talk to many of my neighbors, and we have discussions about the schools and why you send your kid to this school, why is we're having so many people move, why are people moving? And really the reason is because of the schooling. When a family moves like we did for the schooling, there is a reputation that the HDSB in Oakville, I'm not going to say Burlington, Milton, Halton Hills is any different, but in Oakville, where I live in Ward 7, and when I can walk to Ward 5 for White Oaks, there is a reputation. So the experience I've had with my kids, with my enlarging family, with my neighbors, I will stay part of the HDSB with my kids for as long as I can. That's grade 12, obviously. But hey, it could be going to college just around the corner in Ward 5 as well, too. We have a college there. It's not HDSB, but it's part of the community. So when I talk about schooling and when I talk about why my kids love school, and not every day, but they love school and they love the teachers, it's because of the reputation and it's because of the work that the trustees have done, the HDSB has done to keep the schools at the top of the provincial scoreboard. We went, we sent our kids to Montessori before they were old enough, before they were 4 years old. We could have kept them in Montessori. But why? We moved across the street from Udanawi. So I saw my kids in JK and SK from my window. That's the reason why I see the value of the schools. And I see the value of, Kelly's not here today, but I see the value in the work that she did. And so I would love to be able to keep moving that forward. And that's my experience with the HSB. It's always going to be positive and it's going to get better, only better.
Okay, question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for Wards 5 and 7?
So I live in Ward 7. My kids play volleyball or across Oakville. They're playing at Gaetan Jorvet, which is the French school right across White Oaks. My kids will be going to high school here. I have gone to enough school councils and town council meetings that I know the community. I love to talk, but more importantly, I love to listen. I think communication is I have a little rattled voice today, but communication is the top reason I got married. I have kids, and my kids are succeeding. So I value the way that I can listen to people, provide answers, provide solutions, have fun. And if I don't know the solutions, get the correct answers. So the reason why I think I know I'm the best and the ideal candidate is, hey, I live there. My kids are part of the program in 5 and 7. They will be for the next 5-6 years. And I just work my derriere off to have the best community. And if you ever have a chance to talk to the town councillors, the regional councillors in Oakville, they know my name. And it's because I try to talk to them. I try to ask them questions. I try to figure out why we're doing certain things. It's important to be part of the community, and that part of the community is the reason why I'm the best fit. I know the schools. I know Principal Riccardelli at DDW. She knows me. She's going to come to the dinner with us. I mean, it's nice to work with people that you know, because the principal is there for that reason too, to improve the kids. And everyone here is here to improve the kids in HDSP and the parents and what they know about our programs. So that's why I'm the ideal candidate. I'll work hard. I'll always try to be as honest as I can. I'll push any program that will help the schools and help the students. And I'll be the best ambassador you'll have. And, if given the opportunity, I don't think you'll regret posting me there.
Thank you very much. There is a little bit of time left if you wanted to add anything.
No, I mean, I'm just happy to be given the opportunity to speak to all of you. I've met, and I don't even know if Kelly would remember me, but I've met and had her sign on my lawn. So, but I don't think I've met any of you. I mean, Carolina, I've talked to, and having someone with the same last name as me is pretty cool, right? So, but I mean, anyways, just given the opportunity, I'm very proud to be here. The fact that my kids know that I'm here as well, it's pretty cool that my dad might be a trustee. He went to the meeting tomorrow at school. I think that's very cool. I think the kids need to share the joyousness of their parents about school, right? I think that's important.
You certainly have a bubbly attitude.
Thank you.
I do want to let you know, while Kelly is not present in the room, she is participating online. So
Great.
I'm sure that she'll be smiling from ear to ear to see that you've remembered her in your remarks. Thank you for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all candidates tomorrow evening after we've made our decision. So please keep your phone on in case
Perfect.
You're getting a call.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I know you have a long night. Hopefully you have a safe drive home. Thanks. Have a nice day.
At this time, I'm going to invite Adejisola Atiba to come forward.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, Adejisola, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7.
Thank you.
Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustees?
Thank you. So I did look it up. I understand that some of the roles include governance, accountability, community engagement, hiring, budgeting, advocacy. Yeah.
Okay, question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan? And will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Thank you so much. Again, I looked it up and it kind of aligned with everything I believe in. So learning, engagement and achievement, mental health, wellness, environment and global citizenship, indigenous rights and education. I found, and then I believe that you added one from 2020 to 2024, which is kindness, connection, and community. And I find that really great because I feel that we need to do more of that. So they all resonate with me just because I'm a community person. My 9 to 5 is banking, and I'm happy to say that I'm retiring. Yeah, can you believe that? So everything I do, whether it's in my banking job or in the community, is all about ensuring that we're hearing each other, we're supporting each other, we're working together, making sure everybody is respected. I love the fact that we have a renewed focus on Indigenous education. And I know that when we support Indigenous, we support everybody. So I really like the MYSB 2024-2028. I feel it upholds a lot of things. So let me just peel back the onions a little bit. With the learning, development, and achievement, it supports staff development, and it also supports our youth. It allows them to use their voice, and you're able to support them with that. The kindness connection, like I said, really, really touches me because, like I said, we've moved so much away from that. And even our current Prime Minister talks about the fact that Canada is a mosaic, meaning everybody is not supposed to blend in. We're supposed to showcase who we are, and we're supposed to learn from each other, because it's in the learning from each other that we can actually support each other. So I love the fact that, seriously, that's the one that really stood out with me, the kindness, connection, and community.
Thank you. Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
So my son is actually in high school right now. Carl Kleinberger is at grade 12. It's been a really good experience. Why? Because they're very proactive in reaching out. The teachers, the support they receive, even when they're not doing well. At times those young people, they just have their own ways. I get an email to tell me what's happening, and I really love that. They're really very committed in making sure that they succeed, however they can succeed. Now, talking about my other experiences in the community, I volunteer with the Rotary Club. I was actually past president, and I was youth chair for 2 years. I also support junior achievement. I tell people I'm a volunteer geek. It's not just about supporting my personal community, which I do, but making sure that I know what's happening everywhere else, because I've decided to call Canada home. I need to make sure that I'm involved in whatever is happening around me. So I support Junior Achievement Central. We've actually had, I think it was during 2020 that we had a financial literacy at the velodrome. I was part of that. And we've been to schools to actually talk about financial literacy, because we know that we need to ensure our kids know the importance of finance. And other organizations that I support, like African Caribbean Council of Halton, we go into schools for mentoring and also for cultural studies, so that people get to know what's around them. I tell people that in Canada, we don't need to travel before we actually know more about the world. You just have to be open-minded. You have to be growth-minded. Look in the room right here. This is the world right here in the room, right? Everybody's from, somewhere. So being open-minded and willing to learn is what we really need to do. And we need to start our children young. So if we're able to teach them at this tender age, they definitely will be what we want them to be. We always say that our children are our future. But I say they are actually our present, because we don't invest in them now, they're not going to be our future.
Thank you. And question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
I wouldn't say I'm the best choice. I'm just going to say I'm going to put my very best foot forward. And the reason is because I love children. And I don't just love them, I want them to succeed. And not only do I want them to succeed, I don't just talk the talk, I put action into it. And I believe that, if we really want to make change, we need to be the change that we want to see. I believe in building bridges, and whatever I can do to support and make my world a better place, better than I met it. That's really what I do. And on another note, I actually just finished my chartered directorship with McMaster's, the Growth School of Business. That's because I wanted to learn more about the intricacies of what a board is. And what really stood out for me, in spite of everything, is the fiduciary issue. Having this position, whether in any boards or, it's a trust. And we're supposed to uphold that trust. We're supposed to do the best for the community. It's not about us. So that's why I would say, if you consider me, I'm passionate. I put my 1,000%, I don't do 100% in everything that I do. And that's what you're going to see.
Thank you. We still have a little bit of time left remaining. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
Not really.
Okay. And are there any trustee questions for this candidate? Seeing none, thank you very much for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we have chosen an appointee. And so please do keep your phone on tomorrow evening, because that around 10 o'clock at night, we might be making a phone call.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and thank you for all you do. Have a great day.
We can take a 5-minute recess now because we are a little bit ahead of time. So if people want to take a bio break or just stretch your legs.
checking. You are Rebecca Mago?
Yes.
Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Welcome, Rebecca, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustees?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you very much for having me. So my understanding of the role of school board trustee, beyond just the job description and role overview that we all received, was really best symbolized in a sign that my grade 5 teacher had up in our classroom, and it was, "This is a safe place to ask questions." And I think since then I've used that expression over and over again, but I think it's really applicable here in that I believe our role as trustees are to really be that safe place for schools, principals, parents, students to talk to us about things that are happening in our wards, and then for us to be able to bring them back to this room and around these tables to discuss together. And then to have those discussions, come up with the answers, resolutions, actions that, align to those, to the information that people are seeking, and then for us to bring that back. And I think once you become a safe person or place for people to share information with, especially as it relates to their children and the future of their children, I think that is really, to me, the whole goal of being a trustee.
Okay. Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024-28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Thank you. I'm very familiar with your multi-year strategic plan insofar as over the past few years being a parent council chair for a couple of the schools that my children attend. I've had many conversations with the principals and staff at the school to learn how the principals are rolling out the plan in the programs that they do in their schools, how the teachers are using them in their classrooms, how the students use them to come up with the activities and events and clubs that they create. But then also as a parent council chair, I've used your plan and the commitments within it to come up with the events and conversations that we have with our parent community. And so I'm familiar with it, and therefore I don't have any or anticipate any challenge with any of the commitments. In fact, I look forward to aligning myself with those commitments where I might have the most experience. For example, equity and inclusion is something that I do as part of the many women's organizations that I'm a part of to support the advancement of women in tech. But mostly I look forward to being challenged and learning from those commitments and my involvement in the commitments where maybe I don't have a lot of experience. I think I look forward to that as my own learning experience, being able to learn from the other people around the table and the experiences that come with having those shared commitments.
Okay, question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB as well as your experience with any other boards, and how will this help you in the role of trustee?
Yeah, my experience with the HDSB started when I first joined the parent council of my oldest son's K-5 school. I joined, quickly became the chair of that parent council, and since then have gone on to be part of parent councils, not only at their K-5 school, but their middle school, and now I'm the parent council chair of Iroquois Ridge High School. That experience to me has been invaluable, not only because I didn't join parent council for the interests of my own children or our family, but I really joined those parent councils as a way to represent the other parents and friends that I have that don't have the ability to join the council meetings or to have the conversations that I get to have with other parents or the principals or the staff. And so I look forward to this opportunity in much the same way, whereas I'm not coming to the school board as a trustee for my own interest. I really am coming to represent those people who can't be here, and as a way, again, to take information back to them. And then, of course, I sit on the Oakville Public Library Board. This board experience with the public library has started because I love books. I love reading. I love libraries. And over the last 2 years, it has quickly grown into such a learning opportunity for me. I've grown my experience in financial oversight and board governance, especially as it relates to even something simple as how board meetings are run. It's something I didn't know before. I've had the opportunity to be enrolled in a board governance course where I continue to learn all of the things that we need to know as board members. And yeah, so that's my experience. Thanks.
Okay, and question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
Thank you. So to prepare for this, I not only did I have the chance to talk to Tanya, who is our representative in the ward that I live in Ward 6, but I did reach out to Kelly Amos because I initially had met Kelly years ago, again, when I was the chair of the parent council at Sheridan Public School. And Kelly used to hold super parent council meetings. And I absolutely loved that because it was a chance for us all to come together and learn and grow. And I didn't have a chance to talk to Kelly just to learn about what she's currently working on. But what I did do was go back in time and look at some of the articles and things that Kelly first ran on. What were the issues that she ran on, and why did people elect her in the first place? And she's not here, but I would bet any amount of money that those 2 big issues that she ran on are still relevant today in terms of the fact that maybe Halton School Board doesn't get enough funding as compared to other boards, and also the absolute rapid expansion of and growth happening in Oakville and Halton in general. So knowing that those are the challenges there, I think there are 3 reasons that I am the best candidate for this role. Number 1, I love Oakville. By extension, I love Halton. I moved here just over almost 25 years ago. I've had the chance to live in southwestern Ontario, Ottawa, Sault Ste. Marie, all over Ontario, and I can absolutely say it's a privilege to raise my children here. Number 2, I am fiercely devoted to community and partnerships. I think that there is nothing worth doing that you can't be better done together. I think that is a really good just lesson in life, but it's by which I do everything. And number 3, I'm just a really big optimist. I read a phrase called authentic optimism, and I love it and live it just because it's about not naively hiding the truth from people. The reality is, especially in this environment, there'll never be enough budget, time, resources for all the things we want to do. So I think it's about being honest, but it's also about being positive and really relaying to people that we are all doing this because we all share the same vision of creating the best possible environment for our kids all across Halton. And so I'm committed to bringing that level of optimism and community and just my love of Halton to this role. Thank you.
Thank you. I did want to let you know that Kelly is here. She's just not physically here. She's
Perfect.
She's here remotely, so she'll be thrilled to hear her name remembered by you. There is still a little bit of time remaining in the interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
No, I'm usually a rambler, so I tried really hard to edit myself. And if you've ever done that before, it's so hard. And so I'm just going to say no. That's it.
So there is a little bit of time if any of the trustees have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tanya.
So thank you, Rebecca. You did mention you were a board member with the Oakville Public Library. Do you foresee there being any conflict of interest in being on that board as well as this board? I actually don't. I think if anything, it benefits me. It gives me a visibility into a lot of what's happening across Oakville. In my time there, I've learned, again, so much about the expansion of so much of our community. And libraries and schools are so closely combined with that shared vision of wanting, access and opportunities and learning. I think it can only benefit me to be a part of both. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we've chosen an appointee, which will be tomorrow night.
Thank you.
So please keep your phone on, just in case it rings.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes?
Is it possible to mention at the beginning that we do have 2 trustees online?
I can do that, absolutely.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Audrey Obenhorst to come forward.
Hi, good evening.
Hi. Welcome, Audrey, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly, 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes. And for your information, we have 2 of our trustees participating remotely. That's Trustee Amos and Trustee Ahmed.
Thank you.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustees?
Great, thank you for that question. So before I got here, I took a lot of time to review the material that was provided on the role of the trustee at the HDSB. I also looked at a number of other boards, and I looked at the Ontario Trustee Association as well. And certainly over my career, I've had the privilege of working with a number of trustees. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I would define the role. Certainly, first and foremost, it's to be a conduit between the community while also acting in the best interests of the board. So it's really, providing that delicate balance between representing the community and the neighborhoods and the schools that you're serving, while also making decisions within the best interest of the Halton District School Board. Can everyone hear me? It's okay? It feels a bit echoey? Okay. But I've had the privilege of serving on many boards, so I'll give you a little bit of my own flavor of that as well. Certainly, I think one thing that is really not as well understood or advertised with governance roles is certainly that you're part of a team. So I would say part of the role too is learning how to work with a team, to build relationships with your colleagues, because for the most part, we want to build consensus and collaborate together. Also, it's building those relationships with the communities, so building strong relationships with the administration and the parent councils at the schools that you serve, as well as the student community. From more of a fiduciary responsibility, certainly the role is laid out in the Education Act, so being responsible for overseeing broad policy directives. I've done a lot of governance training, and we use these terms, nose in, fingers out. So the idea that you're trying to move away from the operational day-to-day management, leaving that in the capable hands of the director, but certainly providing that broad governance oversight. You're also accountable to the province from a financial and fiduciary responsibility, ensuring that the director carries out their responsibilities, maintaining strong and careful budgets, and of course, overseeing the multi-year strategic plan. Broadly speaking, I would also say, in my own words, it's really around acting as a champion of education, staying connected to the community, keeping your ear to the ground, and bringing those voices to the trustee table here.
Thank you. Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024-28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Okay, great. Thanks for the question. I'm very familiar with it. I've read it in detail. I also looked at the corresponding metrics or key performance indicators that you published, and I watched the video with Curtis and Amy also. So I could say, unequivocally, I would feel comfortable endorsing it and sponsoring it. I wanted to comment maybe on a few of the components and what I would see, I guess, bringing to the table in terms of the 6 areas. So the first one, I believe very strongly that mental health is probably the biggest issue for this generation. I also work in the post-secondary sector, so I see that as well. And I see how a strong school community, strong adult role models as teachers and administration can be a very protective factor against mental health issues. The other thing I wanted to highlight is the commitment to Indigenous issues and to reconciliation. And I can certainly say, proudly that my children are much more well-versed in Indigenous issues and reconciliation than I certainly was in my teenage years. Having said that, because I also work in education, I do feel like often educators are maybe a little bit ill-equipped to teach some of those issues. So I would see, a continued focus on curriculum development, providing resources, bringing in Indigenous resources that represent the community as an important professional development opportunity. I was very privileged to have a big, fairly large government grant with Humber College to develop some Indigenous resources, business cases that are open educational resources for use in the classroom. And the reason why we received that grant, I partnered with the Canadian Council of Indigenous Business, is because there simply isn't enough Indigenous content to teach. So I see that as an area. I also wanted to focus on the piece around developing innovative thinking and critical thinking through the UN sustainability goals. Again, I can say that my students who are in the post-secondary sector use the goals almost as shorthand. Will write, goal number 3, goal number 5 under their LinkedIn profile. So it's great to see that teaching at the, at this level, of course. And I've been very privileged to work on a number of international projects related to the sustainability goals in the last couple of years in Colombia, in Kosovo, and in Bhutan. All funded by the federal government. And the last point, I'm looking at the clock, is around accessibility, which is near and dear to my heart. And I think I have experience working with kids with disabilities, and I see a lot of emphasis for creating inclusive classrooms. Running out of time.
Okay, question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in your role as trustee.
Okay, I will go very quickly. My children, I live in Ward 5. My children have attended 3 of the schools in Ward 5, and my daughter, who's here today, will be attending White Oaks in the fall. I've worked with many teachers, including the CERTs, a wonderful vision itinerant at the HDSB, and I've participated in field trips, fun fairs, and fundraising. Prior to moving to Oakville, I was a member of the parent council at Rawlinson Community School in Toronto. At the time, it was considered a model school for inner cities. I've also volunteered with the Bloorview School Authority, which is a Section 68 school for kids with complex medical needs.
Okay, question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 quick reasons. The first is I have over 20 years of governance experience. In the public sector, I've been a trustee at Humber College. I was a member of the Presidential Search Committee. I served on the Board of Toronto Community Housing Corporation, the second largest housing corporation in North America. I've been trained in the ICD governance designation with the Rotman School of Business. I also serve on a public pension board. I have over 10 years of experience in the post-secondary sector as a faculty member. So I've seen a lot of changes in education, and I see that it's changing every day with technology and a number of other factors. And I see that it's important to keep our students abreast of those changes and build curriculum around those changes. The last reason is I have a strong business acumen. So I worked for Bank of Montreal for 13 years in corporate banking, credit, human resources, and so on. So I have the ability to read and analyze financial statements and support responsible budgeting. And I'm a little bit ahead of time, so I want to add one more thing. I didn't mention, I live in Ward 5, but I realize it's supporting 2 wards, Wards 5 and 7, and certainly the school situation in those wards is a little bit different. Ward 7 is a growing ward and has its own complexities, but also provides an opportunity, I think, to build state-of-the-art schools, state-of-the-art curriculum, and it would be a privilege to partner with my colleagues in Ward 7 as well.
Wow. Took me a second to catch my breath.
Yes, sorry, I timed it at home and I was on time, and then I thought I was off of time.
Okay, we still have a little bit of time left. You've presented some supplemental information. If you have anything else you'd like to add, or should I go to see if there are any questions?
I'm happy to take questions.
Okay, are there any questions for Audrey? Seeing none.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. Go ahead.
Thanks, Audrey. So I know you were in a hurry because you thought you were out of time.
Yeah.
Is there, now that you have a minute left, is there anything you wish you had said that you may have skipped over?
Yeah, I mean, I did skip over one important thing to me, which was kind of my last point on, I think, on the strategic plan. My son has a physical disability. We've been really privileged to work with a wonderful vision itinerant at Halton District School Board. But I think there's lots of room for improving the services we provide to students with disabilities. Obviously, disability is a very, very broad category and means many, many different things. I would also say, there's lots of room for changing the way we think about accommodation, using technology to integrate into the classroom and support students. And would love to be a part of those conversations.
Thank you so much, Audrey. You ended perfectly on time. Thank you for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we have chosen a candidate to put forward for the appointment. So please keep your phone on tomorrow evening, probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, depending on how long we deliberate, in case your phone rings.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Have a great evening.
Nice having you.
Welcome. I take it you're Andrea
Yes.
Chilagauria?
Chilagauria, that's
Yeah.
me.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Andrea, for coming to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes.
Okay?
Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Okay?
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Great, thank you for that question. So the role of board trustee is very interesting because it sits at the intersection. It has an accountability towards the community, but also responsibilities under the government and operating within the given framework. So that intersection is what defines it and makes it unique. Second, being a governance role, and this is only for the board, the board is concerned with doing the right things, not doing things right. So governance versus management, and that's an important distinction and understanding when it comes to the governance structure. And last but not least, what defines the board trustee role for me is the consensus building, and the imperative to have collaborative decision making, which and the collaborative within that collaborative governance. So these three things together pretty much define the role for me.
Okay. Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
I'm quite familiar with it. I remember when it came out, and as a parent, I was on the communication. I read through it. I provided feedback without ever knowing that actually I will be in this place. And I thought it's a very good plan. It's solid. What I appreciated about it is that it is holistic. It builds on the pillars. It builds on different dimensions. So starting with inclusivity and diversity and inclusion. So everybody has a seat at the table. Everybody's voice is heard. That's important. That's the base. Building on that, mental health and well-being. Fundamental. Without that, we cannot have academic achievement. And then once there is academic achievement, we build on that with sustainability, indigenous perspectives. I think it's a well-rounded plan. It's solid. I was very happy to see that output from the board, being a parent of school-age children getting in the system. If I may share with you, one thing that came across when I was looking at the plan is parallels with actually the Ontario health teams, and the fact that the Ontario health teams put the patient in the center. So, and it, it rallies around the different healthcare providers for the well-being of the patient. So I felt that this is very much the same. It puts the student at the center, the student well-being at the center, and again, having that balanced, holistic approach to well-being of the student. So that was something that came to my mind as I was familiarizing myself with the plan. The last thing that came to mind, and this is my marketing hat on, I appreciated the journey. So when we were asked to provide feedback on the website, I thought that was an amazing opportunity to explore how people interact with the information and different stakeholders. How do students look for information? Where do parents look for information? How is the information structured in a way that's accessible to everybody, that's easily understood? So I really appreciated that exercise as I went through it, and I think it was thorough and well put together. So I would have no challenges supporting, upholding the plan in its entirety.
Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
Okay, so I'm a long-term resident of Milton now for about 18 years. And the community has changed quite a bit. I've been a member of this community. We have a broad network of family and friends, extended family, that have had numerous interactions with the HDSB, starting from getting into the system, exiting the system into post-secondary or work, and everything in between. And interestingly, I've been exposed through them to the different challenges and needs that different students have. Like the diversity and the variety of needs and challenges they had is quite astonishing. And now with, of course, our own children going into the system, I think there is an impetus for me as a parent to contribute as much as possible, whether it's the parent committees or higher venues such as this one. I think we just become more aware of our responsibilities towards the next generation and enabling them to be successful. So that has been my experience with HDSB, firsthand and kind of secondhand as part of the community. In terms of other boards, I have served on numerous boards, not-for-profit boards primarily. I have served on committees. I have been part of advisory councils in different capacities. So I fully understand governance models, fiduciary duties, collaborative governance models. So I'm quite familiar with these aspects.
Okay, and question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
Okay, thank you for that question. So, as mentioned, I'm a long-term resident of Milton. I think that wards 5 and 7 in Oakville share a lot of commonalities. So North Oakville and Milton have similarities in terms of the demographic profile, the diversity, the growing communities, the young and new families that are moving to these areas and the needs that they have. So I think I would be in a good position to understand the needs of the community and represent their interests. For wards 5 and 7. In addition, I would say that I bring significant experience from the private sector across industries. I have worked with NGOs, with government bodies, with intergovernment entities, and that would enable me to bring, it will make me versatile, for example, in terms of representation on different committees. So having that fresh perspective, but also enough experience and expertise to draw upon to bring value in whatever way I can. Thirdly, the role of trustee is more and more important because education is changing. If we think of digital, if we think of AI, these are just the most recent ones. So I'm a constant learner. I'm educating myself on AI and digital now. I work in post-secondary education. After my PhD degrees, right now I'm, as we speak, pursuing an ESG designation at University of Toronto at Rotman. I'm constantly pushing the boundaries of how can we bring value? What is out there that we can use? What is useful? What are the guardrails? What are the limitations? What are the opportunities? And I think it's important to have those kind of discussions when we think of the future of education. So I would bring that perspective. In terms of the passion, education, I live education. Perhaps not in the HDSB, but my entire life, this has been a constant. So I'm really passionate about it. So in a nutshell, I think what makes me the best choice for representation for Ward 5 and 7 is this intersectionality of expertise, of values, understanding the community values and the community perspective, and passion. Because I truly am passionate about education and bringing that, enabling, building an ecosystem and a partnership across any entities that we can to enable the success of the new generation. So I think all these together make me the best candidate. Thank you.
Thank you. You do have a few seconds left if you want to add anything else. I don't think we have enough time for a question, but if you have anything to add.
I am just privileged to be here. I am privileged to have been selected for this interview. I'm very grateful for this experience, and I wish you luck in finding the best candidate.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we've chosen an appointee. So please keep your phone on tomorrow night, just in case it rings.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Welcome, Michael. Just confirming, Michael Reed.
I am Michael Reed, yes. Thank you.
Welcome, Michael, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes.
Okay.
Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the Vice Chair and displayed on the screen. Pace short answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
When I thought about this question, the first thought I had was it's all about the children. It's a very important role, because you're involved in molding their minds. I also understand a trustee is a key leadership role in ensuring that schools operate within the standards established by the province pursuant to the Election Act, and that programs and services remain responsive to the diverse communities they serve. I understand the various responsibilities as indicated by Section 169.1 sub 1 of the Education Act to include focusing on the central goals of improving student achievement and well-being, ensuring safe and inclusive learning environments, building public trust, implementing policy, strategic planning, budget setting, community engagement, and assessing the Director of Education's performance. And I'm a senior law clerk, so I've been at that for 30 years. So first thing I think about is statute. This is why I'm talking about the sections of the Education Act.
Question 2. How familiar are you with HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
I believe in full transparency for everything, and I will admit before I read the question, I did not know, but I did do my research, and I guess I would say I'm somewhat familiar now. And I understand that the plan is a set direction and prioritize the collective actions of all students, staff, families, and community members. The MYSP gives focus to a set of clear commitments for the next 4 years. From review of the Education Act again, Section 169.1 sub 2 confirms that an MYSP is required for 3 or more school years, and it outlines the commitments at each objectives and further defined and clarify the focus. With the commitments, of course, which you all know, learning, engagement, and achievement, kindness, connection, and community, Indigenous rights and education, human rights, equity and inclusion, mental health and well-being, and environmental and global citizenship. And no, I would not have any problem with working with these commitments. I think these commitments are excellent. And as I said, I would really like to work with these. I would compare them, if I may. We have the Charter of Rights for Canada. I see this as kind of like, this plan is kind of similar to what that would be for the board. Finally, I understand in regards to next steps that a detailed operation plan is under development to outline the specific actions and steps that would be taken to achieve the goals of each commitment in the 2024-2028 plan. And I think that's it for that question.
Okay. Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
My past experience with the board has actually been excellent, including my discussions with Ms. Amos at Ward 5, trustee. I once had discussions with her and questions about a potential idea to help seniors. In addition, I contacted my trustee when my youngest, who has now graduated from White Oaks, was experiencing bullying while at Montclair and White Oaks, as them was a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. In addition, I have watched quite a few meetings online, and occasionally I do check the agendas in the minutes. My prior board experience will help me in my role as trustee, as I gain the experience reviewing issues, discussing them with other board members, articulating my perspective, and voting on issues. 2 of these board positions included being a former member of the Oakville Heritage Advisory Committee, who analyzed heritage-related applications and made recommendations to council. And I'm currently the president of the Oakville Community Association, whose vision is to contribute to creating an engaged, safe, caring, and vibrant community where all residents enjoy a positive quality of life. OCA has a multicultural board of 12, and our bylaws indicate we have to have one board member per all 7 wards in Oakville, and that was the way it was designed. OCA has advocated on behalf of various residents of Oakville with issues and have presented to council numerous times on planning applications, including the Midtown development area. In addition, OCA has been working on raising awareness and assisting Crime Stoppers of Halton with the Community Watch program, in which they are trying to implement first in Oakville and then hopefully across Halton.
And question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
I've been a resident of Ward 5 since 2006, and my 3 daughters all graduated from White Oaks, and 2 of them attended Montclair Public School. I think it is very important that a trustee reside in one of the wards in which they represent, and I think they should also have links to the other ward they represent. In my situation, as mentioned, I live in Ward 5, and I have contacts, including members of council, in Ward 7. I have friends and colleagues of all faiths, cultures, and political stripes, and I have the ability to bring these different groups together to collaborate and solve problems and achieve goals. Finally, I understand the Roberts Rules of Order, and I thoroughly believe that meetings need to use this framework to maintain orderly discussions, motions, and voting procedures, ensuring fair representation and majority rule while safeguarding minority voices. Okay.
There is still a little bit of time remaining for your interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
Sure. As I mentioned, I work at a law firm, and I did mention I'm a senior clerk, and I've been working in civil litigation for over 30 years. The firm I work for right now is Oakville-based, and that has taught me, of course, a lot about law and my understanding of law, which I do have. And I completely believe in a system of accountability and all applicable legislation and adopted policies. I really believe they have to and should be adhered to. And I will say one of my pet peeves is when policies are not followed. And this is just something that really bothers me. I think that's all I have to say today.
Do any trustees have questions? Okay, seeing no questions for you this evening, Michael, thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your time.
We will be notifying all applicants once we've chosen an appointee, so please keep your ringer on tomorrow evening, just in case you get a call.
Okay. All right, have a great night.
Thank you. We'll take a 5-minute break.
Okay, Melissa Davis. Melissa, please come forward.
That was me. I hit the wrong button. Welcome, Melissa, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Trustees are elected to support the multi-year strategic plan, bring forth issues with the board and solve them effectively together, set policies and support the community, and also hold the board of directors accountable.
Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
I reviewed the multi-year strategic plan, and the most important thing as an entrepreneur myself at heart is setting very clear goals in order to make sure that your strategic plan is successful. And I think the plan has those goals set very clearly. I have no challenges upholding it, and I think that it's a wonderful plan overall, especially around equity, mental health, and student success, all very important issues in today's climate for our students.
Okay. Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
When I first heard this question, I don't think I really realized how much the Halton District School Board has helped me. I'm a single mother. I have 3 children. I've lived in Oakville since 2000, so they've all been a part of the Halton School Board. My first son, he was diagnosed with a severe mental disability, and the school board quickly supported my son in every way possible. You know, as a single mom, you kind of get worried, you're a little bit depressed, you're sad, you're happy, you know, that at least your son is healthy. And, you know, there was many nights where I was left up, you know, wondering what happens to my son if anything were to happen to me. It was more, my son is more mentally, it's like he was great learning 5 years below his age grade. So when the school board kicked in to help, they, you know, brought him to another school. How was I going to get him to that other school? They sent a school bus to pick him up in the morning time, and he's been doing great ever since. He graduated a few years ago, but the most important part was when he got accepted into Project Search. And that's when he really got to flourish. And I couldn't be more grateful than anything for the Halton School Board to allow a program like that. He worked at the Oakville Trafalgar Hospital, and all of it, he worked in the emergency, and his boss said, my nurses don't even work this hard, you know, and he was like cleaning the chairs like 10 times over, and I was looking, he was cleaning the chairs 10 times over. He doesn't do none of that stuff at home, you know. And, you know, he worked in, there's four different categories that he worked in, and he flourished in all of them. And I immediately, you know, after hearing the feedback from his teachers in Project Search, I took a deep breath, and I was so happy to know, you know, there's a future for him. He can, be independent. You know, even for this election that just happened, he's calling his friends, he's calling his family, saying why you're supposed to vote conservative. You know, and he was just out there and campaigning for everyone. So I'm, you know, when they say it takes a village to raise a child, it's like I didn't realize how much the Halton School Board has helped me. And because I've had that success with you guys and having the support from the teachers, I was able to focus on my business and make it become successful. You know, that was one of the biggest hindrances, is having so many emotional, you know, balances that you got to work through. So because I knew my son was in good hands, I was actually able to, like, you know, put my foot best foot forward in business, and it's been successful today. And then my middle daughter, she had an IEP up until grade 9 and did extremely well. She was taken off of the grade 9. When she went into grade 10, she was taken off, and when she graduated grade 9, she was valedictorian. Her school voted her valedictorian, and she got voted best culinary. She's never made anything at home ever, so I'm trying to figure that out. When she won that award, it was during COVID, and I looked at her like this, like, you won culinary, So, the Halton Board has been so tremendous to my life, and I owe you, every school board that's been around since my children have been in school so much. I understand why Oakville's voted one of the best places to send your children to school, and I'm testament to that. Sorry, what was the second part of the question? I lost my train of thought there. Is it on the screen? Oh.
Other boards,
Thank you. I also do serve on the Halton Learning Foundation board. I was elected last month. When I heard that the role was available, I read over what exactly they do, because I've never heard of it before, and I was so excited. At the same time, I was so surprised that there's so many students here in Halton that need that additional support. Imagine having the gifts and talents to be an amazing basketball player, that you can't afford to go to a tournament. Your mother can't afford to send you, or your father, because of, life expenses. And that's exactly what the Halton Learning Foundation does to support children in need, and just the necessities you need, just a simple thing as lip gloss to feel confident, when you're going to work or going to an interview. And a couple weeks later, I got put on the fundraising committee, and I'm responsible for raising $1.6 million. So when I send you guys the link later, please everyone donate. I would be honored and truly grateful to be able to give back to the Halton District School Board.
Okay, question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
I think it comes into my gifts and talents, and it's problem solving. I started a successful business with no loans, no grants. I learned everything that I know about exporting, importing. People always ask me, how do you know all this stuff? How do you build up your brand to be where it is? And it's problem solving, and also working with Google. Google has been my teacher. And I also have a lot of connections with politicians that will take my calls when needed, when we need to really implement strategic initiatives. Maybe we're not getting the answers that we need, but I can get them on the phone and hold them accountable. I work a lot with Pam Damoff's office. I've done a lot of mentorship with her. Office. I've also won the Queen's Platinum Medal for my entrepreneurship journey because of success. So I'm not shy to adversity, solving problems, coming up with alternatives, and making sure that everything that I put my hands in is very successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You still have a few minutes left if you'd like to add any supplemental information.
I just want to say thank you to the Halton District School Board for all the support that I've gotten over the years. I have one child left in grade 11. She's at Garth Webb, doing well, French immersion. She's, thriving and, wants to be an MD. And, I'm really excited about that. The teachers give her that confidence and, the ability to believe in her dreams. The teachers have been very, very supportive in that, giving her extra help when needed. So I'd just like to thank you for everything that you have done for my children. I keep saying my children, but I know you do it for other children too. But, of course, it's touched my heart very much. So thank you for all that you do. I know that most of you are volunteering your time, and thank you for making sure that these plans are set and keep coming up with new ones to support the children.
Thank you. Are there any questions from trustees? Go ahead, Tanya.
Thank you.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that you're a board member of the Halton Learning Foundation.
Yes.
Do you know if that would be a conflict of interest if you were sitting on both boards?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, it's not. Yes, I did speak with them about it, and it's not an issue. My main focus is raising money for them to help support the Halton children that are in need, that go to the same schools that we are governing over.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much for coming to this interview and showing your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants when we've chosen an appointee, and the appointee will get a phone call tomorrow evening. So if you could keep your phone ringer on, just in case you get a call.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to invite Bartonia Harding to come forward.
I think it's Hardung. But... Thank you. Welcome to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes. And for your information, we do have 2 trustees participating virtually, Trustee Amos and Trustee Ahmed. So they are all of the trustees are present for your interview.
Great.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Good evening, and thank you everyone for allowing me to participate. The role of school board trustee is vital to the success of public education. The trustees are elected to represent the interests of students, families, and the community, ensuring that the decisions that we make reflect the needs and hopes of the people that we serve. Our main responsibility is governance, not daily operations. We set policy directions, approve budgets, and guide strategic vision of our schools. We make sure that public funds are spent wisely and that students receive equitable opportunities to learn and succeed. Trustees are also advocates. We champion anti-oppressive practices, mental health supports, special education services, and fair funding from the provincial government. Strong community connection is also essential. Trustees host meetings, attend school events, and foster dialogue. Our role is to ensure that the voices of our communities, especially those that are historically underrepresented, are heard and valued. Trusteeship is not just about governance, it's about the stewardship of our children's future. Working together, we can build a public education system that prepares every student for a bright and promising tomorrow.
Question 2. How familiar are you with HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Okay. I want to begin by commending the Halton District School Board and the Director of Education, Mr. Ennis, for the impressive outcomes achieved through the implementation of the 2020 to 2024 multi-strategic plan. Notably, Halton District students consistently outperform provincial averages in standardized assessments. For example, grade 3 reading, 81% met or exceeded provincial standards. Grade 6 math, 63% met and exceeded provincial standards, 13% above the provincial average. Grade 9 mathematics, 69% met or exceeded provincial standards, surpassing the provincial average by 8%. And finally, grade 10 literacy tests show a 92% success rate, exceeding the provincial average by 7%. What these achievements underscore is the effectiveness of the board's strategic focus in the committed areas of learning and achievement, equity and inclusion, mental health and well-being, environmental leadership, and Indigenous perspectives. Building on this solid foundation and success, the 2024-28 plan introduces the sixth commitment, kindness, connection, and community. I wholeheartedly support the 2024-28 plan. Its comprehensive approach is designed to nurture well-rounded, resilient students by addressing critical factors that impact learning, such as mental health, well-being, and equity. Moreover, it provides educators with a clear, purposeful framework to inspire and guide our future leaders. The plan's emphasis on removing structural barriers and its commitment to measurable outcomes are poised to generate a momentum that will help propel the HDSB to even greater heights in the future.
Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
As a parent in the district, I am fully satisfied with the education my daughter receives at James W. Hill. Although I haven't interacted directly with this board, I appreciate the notifications and leadership quality. It just shows what good looks like. In high school, I actually worked for the Peel District School Board's J.A. Turner Professional Library, assisting educators with literature searches. Those were the days of microfiche and Eric CD-ROM searches. This experience taught me how to develop research-based approaches to solving problems. Throughout my career, I honed my analytical skills, asking the right questions, and thinking critically to improve outcomes. I believe good decisions start with good information, so I'm committed to researching and benchmarking best practices in education. I have extensive experience in developing strategic plans, setting career goals, tracking progress, ensuring alignment with our long-term vision. As a trustee, I will focus on addressing current challenges and building a strong, equitable, and innovative future for our students. To me, leadership is about listening. I value the voices of students, parents, educators, and community members, and believe real change happens when we work together. With my analytical skills, my commitment to research and best practices, and my experience in strategic leadership, I am ready to serve, I'm ready to listen, and ready to deliver results that will make a difference for our schools and our community.
And question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
Well, first of all, I'd be filling big shoes. In 2023-2024 school year, the Halton District School Board faced $10 million in cuts, resulting in the elimination of 94 positions. Our community is now dealing with increased class sizes, cuts to literacy programs, reductions in mental health and well-being services. Additionally, fewer classes are offered at the high school level, and facility maintenance has been reduced. Unfortunately, we still face a $1.8 million deficit for 2025-26. Many of you have stated that the current funding formula is inadequate, failing to address the impacts of inflation, enhanced CPP, and EI contributions, supply staff costs, student transportation costs, and a variety of other things that are impacting your budgets. For those who know me at Canada Post, they know I'm tenacious about solving problems and removing barriers. This role requires a strong voice to educate and rally our communities about the impacts of the current funding realities and ways in which our constituents can help us. I will work collaboratively with each trustee, the Director of Education, and the provincial government to find ways to move us forward productively. I'm practical enough to know that change does not happen overnight, but I do not tire easily. Additionally, I will challenge established norms that may have lost their purpose, rooting out artificial or perceived barriers. It is something that I excel at, focusing our thinking on the art of possible, not on the art of why not. I want to thank you all for giving me the chance to share a bit about myself. I am genuinely excited about representing wards 5 and 7 and hope to earn your support in selecting me for it.
Thank you very much. You still have a little bit of time left if you'd like to present any supplemental information.
I know you guys have probably got my resume, but I wanted to share a little bit about me personally versus in terms of my education. I started out as what would have been considered an at-risk student. And, by the time I was in grade 8, I was in the principal's office every other day. I moved into high school. Financially, economically, we were challenged. Sorry, I apologize. I'm a bit nervous talking about myself. And so I understand the value of perseverance and sticking with it. I did not go to university full time. I did it part time over 13 some odd years. I started out at York. I pivoted to doing adult education at Humber. My career was growing at my company. It was the way in which I was able to fund my education, but I stuck with it. I eventually finished, went on to do my MBA. And so I think I bring a personal perspective for those students who are at risk, who people may have, counted them out. I remember one teacher who, after visiting, coming back to the school saying, wow, I didn't think you'd make it. And which was a harsh thing to say, but I was an adult, so it's okay. But it just points out that, we have to keep encouraging and lifting people up, building in resiliency into our students. And while their path may not be direct, the fact that they have a vision and a path in mind is what we need to inspire, and that's what will bring success to our students.
Thank you very much for those closing comments. We will be notifying all applicants once we have chosen an appointee. The chosen appointee will receive a phone call sometime tomorrow night, so please keep your phone ringer on just in case you get a call.
All right.
Thank
you very much, and thank you to all of you for your service. Have a great evening.
I'd like to invite Ira Davidoff to come forward at this time.
Hello.
Hello, welcome Ira to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the Vice Chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly, 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes. And for your information, we do have 2 trustees participating virtually. They are Trustees Ahmed and Trustee Amos, so all trustees are present for hearing your interview this afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Hi. Thank you for the question. From my understanding, and sounds weird. From my understanding and from my experience with the board, trustees' role is basically to provide guidelines through policies, challenge the director on execution of those policies, represent students, parents, and schools, of course, and responsible for the budget, approve programs accordingly with the annual plan or multi-annual plan. I think my time is not running. Let's not pause the time. Okay. So this is my understanding.
Okay. Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan? And will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
I think the plan, which I actually participated in one of the community discussions about the plan, I see the plan as the goal, right? Where we want to be, hopefully in 2028, maybe earlier. And I think it's really great. I think we should definitely encourage our kids to excel, provide them with all the tools that we can as adults and especially as school board. The world is really changing, and maybe I can expand on my professional experience later. And I think in this changing world, and I see my kids as well, we need to provide them with some different tools from those we had when we were younger. And I think providing also a safe environment for all the kids to excel in their own way, it's very important. And having a goal where we maybe decide which way we're going to take to get to that goal, because maybe we'll need to change it accordingly through the time. I think all the goals that the multi-year strategic plan provides, it's really good.
Okay, question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how will this help you in the role of trustee?
So actually, I look at all of you, and you're like celebrities for me because I watch watch you on YouTube. So it's like, oh, I know you all, but you don't me. I do know some of you. I participated in a couple of engagements with Curtis, with the director, and some of the trustees here, and some of the staff. And as I said, I participated in the community engagement with the multi-annual plan. So I know what you do because I follow you on YouTube. I'm that person who watch you. And sometimes I bring friends. But in my professional life, I actually have a lot of experience with boards. My old professional life, I'm reporting to financial institutions boards and to regulators, to financial regulators. So whether it's reporting on audit for board of directors of a bank, or in my current position, I manage emerging risks. So this is something that all boards are very interested in, understanding the environment that we operate in. And I'm sure we all watch the news and we live this life, and we know that there are so many emerging risks currently evolving. That's political, geopolitical, economic, social, cyber, name it, right? A lot of things happening. So I know what the board is looking for. I know the challenges that the board needs to provide. So I'm ready to be part of the board.
Okay, and question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
I don't know if I'm the best choice. I didn't interview the others. But I think I'm a good choice. And I think I'm a good choice because of my professional perspective. As I said, on working with boards, I know what the board needs to do. And I'm happy to share from my experience on emerging risks in the world. I think it's very important. I can talk hours about it. But I'm also very passionate about our kids' education and the future that we're building for them. And I think education is the core of every society. And we need to make sure that our kids get the best education that we can provide them. And when I say we, I say it as parents, as adults, as members of the community, of the society, as Canadian, as a citizen of the world, right? Our kids' education is very important, especially today when the world is going to be ruled by AI and other very powerful powers. We need to give them the right tools. So this is why I think that understanding those perspectives makes me good candidate. And I really appreciate the mission that you're in. It's very important. Not always gets the appreciation. I know that. But it's very, very important because we're dealing with the future of this country and the future of our kids. So I'm very passionate about it. And as part of my passion, and thanks to the bank that I work for, we do volunteering every year, basically. So I like to volunteer with, it's called Junior Achievement Central Ontario. I'm sure maybe the director knows about them. It's actually enjoying a full day with the kids and giving them education about the basics of economics. And those kids are smart. They're asking good questions, and we just need to encourage them. We just need to provide them with the right environment to succeed. So, appreciate your mission. Happy to join on board, and this is me.
Thank you very much. I don't know how much time is left because I started late, but you do still have some time left if you wanted to present any supplemental information.
I think I can give you 2 minutes to have a drink. It's okay.
Are there any questions for Ira? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your interest in this position, we will be notifying all applicants once we have chosen an appointee, and the appointee will receive a direct phone call from me sometime tomorrow night. Please keep your ringer on just in case it rings.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. The next candidate on the schedule is not here yet, so let's take a break. And if he shows up, we can come back. Okay, everyone is back, so we will continue.
Thank you. At this time, I want to welcome Faisal Malik to the presentation area. This way, Faisal. Yeah.
Welcome, Faisal, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the vice chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes. And for your information, 2 of our trustees are participating remotely. They are trustees Ahmed and trustee Amos. So all 11 trustees will be hearing your interview.
That's great. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for providing me with the opportunity to be here. My name is Faisal Malik. I'm a healthcare professional and a proud resident of Halton for over 13 years. I'm a father of 2 children who are attending HDSB schools.
Okay, welcome. Question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustees?
Yes, so I researched this, and according to the Ontario Education Act, trustees are elected officials responsible for ensuring that school boards meet the educational interests and needs of their communities. Trustees serve as a vital bridge between the community and the school board. They help to ensure that the voices, needs, and values of the community are reflected in board decisions as well as policies. They are responsible for advocating for student success and well-being. They help set the strategic direction of the board through policies and budgets, and they hold the Director of Education accountable for implementing the multi-year strategic plan, which I see you have on the wall there, which is great. Trustees also play an important role in building public trust, promoting equity and inclusion, and making sure that every decision prioritizes the best interest of all students, families, and staff across the system. The role of a trustee is to govern by setting strategic direction, developing policies, approving budgets, as well as keeping student achievement and well-being at the center of every decision. Trustees work together as a team. There's no individual trustee can act alone. Trustees must make decisions collectively to serve all the students across the entire board. They don't work on individual interests. Trustees focus on governance, not management. The Director of Education leads day-to-day operations. The trustee's responsibility is to provide oversight, ensure accountability, and advocate for strong, inclusive public education. At the core, I really believe that trustees are here to lead with integrity. They're here to listen thoughtfully and to help ensure that every student has the opportunity to succeed.
Okay. Question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan, and will you have any challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Sure, thank you. So I have reviewed the multi-year strategic plan carefully, and I fully support it. What stood out to me the most was that it is the first plan that brings together 6 essential priorities, such as learning, equity, inclusion, Indigenous perspectives and rights, mental health and well-being, environmental leadership, as well as a culture of kindness, which is, I find, very important. And it puts it into one unified and student-centered vision. It recognizes that students are whole people with complex identities, experiences, and needs, not just academic learners. That holistic approach deeply resonates with me. Small story, growing up in Winnipeg, my sister and I were the only visible minority students in our elementary school. We faced discrimination and had to navigate those challenges alone. There wasn't an MYSB back then, so it was a difficult time, a different era. Later, in the early 90s, we moved to Pakistan. I was 11 years old. I encountered a different kind of exclusion. Although I looked like the locals, my language and mannerisms made me stand out, and I was considered an outsider. So these early experiences gave me a lasting understanding of how important a sense of belonging is to a student's well-being and success. They shaped my passion for inclusive, compassionate systems that see and support every learner. I don't anticipate any challenges in supporting upholding this plan. In fact, my own journey, my personal journey, along with my professional background as a healthcare provider and educator, has equipped me to actively champion its implementation with empathy, accountability, as well as integrity.
Okay. Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
So I haven't served yet as a trustee in my past, but I have been actively involved in school committees, including serving on the student parent committee at my children's previous school. That experience gave me firsthand insight into how school policies can impact families. It strengthened my belief in the importance of collaboration between school and parents. Professionally, I bring over 13 years of leadership experience running a healthcare center where I'm responsible for governance, budgeting, policy development, as well as community service. These are skills that align closely with the responsibility of a trustee. I've also been a clinical instructor in a regulated academic setting, which has further sharpened my ability to work within structured, accountability-driven systems. Currently, I'm also pursuing an MBA with a focus on governance and strategic leadership, which is deepening my understanding of policy development, financial oversight, and stakeholder engagement. These are key components of effective school board governance. I'm also familiar with Robert's Rules of Order, which structure trustee meetings as well as decision-making processes. I also understand that under the Ontario Education Act, trustees are responsible for setting policy, approving budgets, and promoting student achievement and well-being, while the Director of Education oversees the day-to-day operations. With my governance background, formal training, and community engagement, I'm confident I can step into the trustee role and contribute meaningfully right away.
Okay. And question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
What sets me apart is a strong combination of lived experience, professional leadership, and personal investment in our public education system. As a healthcare provider, I work closely with families from all backgrounds. Gives me a clear understanding of the real challenges students and parents face today, from mental health concerns to equity gaps and academic pressures. But this isn't just professional for me, it's deeply personal. I have 2 children currently attending HDSB schools, and like every parent, I want to see them thrive in a safe, inclusive, and supporting learning environment. That's why I'm so committed to serving. I just don't talk about community service, I live it every day through my work, my volunteerism, and my involvement in school life. I listen carefully, lead with empathy, and follow through on my commitments. With my background in governance, leadership experience, and a sincere dedication to inclusive education, I believe I would bring a balanced, informed, and compassionate voice to the board, one that always puts students, including my own, at the center of every decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is still some time remaining in your interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
I'd like to just open it up. If anyone has any questions, I can answer.
Okay. Are there any questions for this candidate? Robbie?
In your application under core competencies, you noted governance, knowledge, and regulatory compliance, Education Act, and code of conduct. Do you have particular knowledge of the Education Act through prior experience?
No, I don't. I've just reviewed it, but it reminds me a lot of the Health Act that we have to follow in my professional line of work. So though not directly related, I did. It did remind me of some of the core components of the Health Act. But to answer your question, no, I'd have none.
Are there any other questions? Faisal, thank you very much for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we've chosen an appointee. I will be making a phone call directly to the appointee at the end of this process. So keep your phone on just in case it rings sometime tomorrow night.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Invite Mark Ross.
That's right.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome, Mark, to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the Vice Chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly. 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes. And for your information, there are 2 trustees participating virtually this evening. They are Trustees Ahmed and Trustee Amos, and so you have the full complement. All 11 trustees are listening to your interview.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Trustees play a key leadership role in ensuring schools operate within the standards established by the province. The HDSB Board of Trustees is responsible for governing the school board in the best interest of all students, all in accordance with policies, government procedures, duties, and responsibilities. They assist the board in fulfilling its duty under the Education Act. They attend and participate in meetings of the board, including various committees, consult with parents, students, and community, listen to and bring forward concerns of the community, uphold the resolutions of the board, whether they agree with them or not. That was spelled out very thoroughly in the document. Comply with the board's code of conduct, development and monitoring of the multi-year strategic plan, and hiring and performance appraisal of the director of education. And there are a few more, but those are the ones that stood out most to me.
Okay, question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan? And will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Okay. I'm now very familiar with the multi-year strategic plan, and I foresee absolutely no challenges in upholding any of it. I was particularly impressed with the 6 commitments that are outlined in the plan, and in particular, I have a son on the autism spectrum, so mental health and as well as the kindness, connection, and community aspects of it have a very personal meaning to me. And he was educated within the Halton School Board, by the way, and is doing very well and lives on his own now. I also particularly noted that one key objective within the one of the commitments focused on transferable skills. And I'm a corporate recruiter in my full-time day job. And in my experience, the pace of change in this world is experiencing right now makes transferable skills fundamentally important. So I was really happy to see that in there.
Question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB, as well as your experience with any other boards, and how this will help you in the role of trustee.
Okay. I don't actually have any experience with the Halton Board or any other educational board. I was, however, on the Curriculum Development Board for the Internet Advertising Bureau, which provides courses and upgrading skill sets to the advertising industry. In addition to that, because of my job, I have expert level skills in consensus building and decision making, even in multi-stakeholder groups.
Okay, question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
I've lived in Halton region my entire life and raised my family here as well. So it's time for me, I think, to give back to my community. And I'm at a stage in my professional life and my family life that I have the time and the commitment to do that. And I stand up for my commitments and I show up to meet my commitments. I think someone famously said half the battle is just showing up. I don't fail to show up. So I know that sometimes life gets in the way of meeting your commitments, that's not an issue for me. I plan my rest of my life around my commitments, not the other way around. I'm professionally trained in DEI initiatives and initiatives through the Canadian Centre for Diversity and Inclusion, and my company is actually a corporate sponsor of that organization, so I believe very strongly in equity and inclusion. Most of all, my profession requires me to understand the skills job seekers need today, but also anticipate the job skills that they're going to need in the future. And I believe that my knowledge in this area can add value to the trustee role. Okay.
There is still time remaining for your interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
Yeah, I wondered about that. I don't really know quite enough yet to ask really intelligent questions. I've gone through all the different materials. I guess part of what I was curious about was involvement in other committees, and that's something that I'd also be very interested in doing. In my current job, I do a lot of training and development, and it involves first learning, assessing needs, and then developing materials and curriculum to deliver the training. So I like participating in that kind of exercise, and I believe I'm good at it. And would like to do that for the Halton School Board as well.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Mark? Seeing no questions, okay. I'd like to thank you for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we've chosen an appointee, and the appointee will be getting a phone call directly from me tomorrow night when we have completed our deliberations. So please keep your phone on in case it rings.
Will do.
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
So just a reminder, the next candidate, Melissa, withdrew, and so Anne is the last person we have. Welcome, Anne.
Hello. Is this on? Yes. Okay.
Hello, Anne, and welcome to your interview for the position of trustee for Oakville Wards 5 and 7. Each interview is being timed and will not exceed 10 minutes. Each of the 4 questions will be read aloud by the Vice Chair and displayed on the screen. Pace your answers accordingly, 4 questions in a total of 10 minutes. And for your information, we have trustees Amos and Ahmed online, so you do have all 11 trustees participating in this interview.
Thank you.
Okay, question 1. What is your understanding of the role of school board trustee?
Well, the trustee is one of 11 and is someone who represents their constituents in the neighborhood, but also the greater region of Halton, and is louder. Okay, that's a first. Do you want me to start again? No? Okay. So, represents their constituents, brings information to the board, and also disseminates information back to the community. They take their skills, whatever the particular skill set of the trustee is, and adds it to the rest of the board, superintendents, senior staff, and the trustees. And as a team, tries to make the best situation for students and staff and the people who work at HDSB.
Okay, question 2. How familiar are you with the HDSB's 2024 to 28 multi-year strategic plan? And will you have challenges in supporting and upholding any part of it? If so, please elaborate.
Well, I can do the second part first. No, I won't have any problem supporting and upholding any part of it. I'm pleased to see that each successive multi-year plan in each 4-year cycle keeps building on the ones before. I like the new one, kindness, connection, and community. I think that's fantastic. And I really appreciate the fact that all the other ones are there. And not as familiar with it as I might be, but I have read through it. I watch the videos. I see it all pass by my Facebook all the time. And I can see it in the kids that I interact with, that it's being lived, I guess you could say, in the HDSB schools. So, and I've also noticed where in other boards where some of these factors aren't. So I also see it from a mission. So I'm proud of what HDSB is doing and has done and hopefully will continue to do.
Okay, question 3. Please tell us about your experience with the HDSB as well as your experience with any other boards and how this will help you in your role as trustee.
Okay, so I moved into Oakville in 1999, and the school across the street was supposed to be built, and it was built in 2010. So I have been interacting with HDSB since 1999, 2000. My children went to school there right from kindergarten on up. My children were part of boundary reviews and moving, and graduated from high school. And in the process, I also became a trustee. So I was a trustee from 2010 to 2014, and then again 14 to 18. And I've also had experience with the Peel District School Board because I grew up there. And my niece and nephew are currently in the Toronto District School Board, although they may be moving to the Halton Board. So I've been involved in lots of different boards, and I've been watching a lot of different things happening. And I've got a lot of experience, but I also am a quick learner. So.
Okay, question 4. What makes you stand out as the best choice to effectively represent the Oakville community as trustee for wards 5 and 7?
Well, when I saw this ad pop up, it was only a couple of weeks ago, I hadn't been as involved in the last little while, but I have been interacting with children in the HDSB system. And I drive around that ward a lot. I don't actually live in the ward, but I live very close to it. I'm in Ward 3. And I also was a trustee at the time involved in the boundary committees that were a long time ago starting to build some of these schools. So I have a lot of familiarity with those schools. I've been in a lot of them. I know people who are in those schools. One of the reasons why I decided to at least give you the opportunity, if you would like to have me as part of the board, is that it's a year and a half. There is a big learning curve. I had watched the board for 7 years, and I still found out all the other stuff I didn't know when I became a trustee. There's a lot going on in wards 5 and 7. There's a lot of new builds. There's a lot of boundary issues. There's a lot of new people moving in. There's a lot of, oh, I wanted to go to the school. Why can't I? Because I'm not in whatever. So I thought that I would give my availability. I have more availability and more time than I had before. I have missed being part of this community, and I think I could effectively represent this community and ensure that Kelly's legacy continues, and that the board would continue without too much of a hiccup as far as picking up in September and going through with what needs to get done.
Thank you, Anne. You still have some time remaining in your interview. Would you like to present any supplemental information?
No, other than I have been watching what the board's been doing the last 7 years, and I think that I have a slightly different perspective than when I was here the last time. I've done a few other things. I've interacted with some more young people. I'm a Beaver Scouter, and I see the 5, 6, 7s all the time. I'm constantly use my FDK experience with bringing that into account. I've been sharing the Indigenous education that I learned here at the board and continue to do. I pulled my family into, when we were in Nova Scotia in March, we went to the Glooscap Community Friendship Center there. And, so it's interesting how my life continues to show all the different pieces that I learned from this board. And I'm a trustee and an adult, and I can't imagine all the things that HSB instills in children and broadcasts it, and it makes such a difference. And I just would like to help that again. And I think that we need people to put their names forward. I was really pleasantly surprised to see that, 27 people had put their name forward for this. I was worried that maybe you wouldn't have a whole lot of people, so I wanted, to at least give you some options. And I would be humbled if I got to be part of the team again. But this is a really great board, and I broadcast it everywhere I go. And I'm part of the GTA School Council Facebook group, and they have some of the same issues that we were trying to solve and as school council members, and I'm still seeing it, and it's like, okay, guys, this is systemic. We need to work at it, which means, again, getting involved with OPSPA again and getting involved with other boards, and then just the environment, right? So everybody needs to do their little bit, and this is what I'm going to decide to do as far as presenting myself as an option. Thanks.
Thank you for that. We still have some time for trustee questions if there are any. Robbie?
Question you don't have to answer, and you can change your mind in the next 18 months. But I'm kind of reading between the lines and I can't tell. Is your intent to serve the rest of this term and not run again, or would your intent be to run in 2026?
I actually don't know where my life will be. I didn't ever know even when I was running before. I think I could run again. I don't have to run again. And I don't know whether there's somebody who is the old me in wards 5 and 7 who just can't do it right now, but would be able to do it in 26 to 30. And if that's the case, that would be a decision and a discussion, and that's a possibility that I would choose not to run. So that's a decision I can't make yet.
Are there any other questions? Thank you very much, Anne, for your interest in this position. We will be notifying all applicants once we've chosen an appointee, and I will be making a personal phone call to whoever the successful candidate is. So please keep your phone on tomorrow night, sometime around 9:30, 10 o'clock. I hope, be phoning somebody. Thank you. Thank you. So that exhausts our agenda for this evening, and I declare this meeting adjourned.